Bryan Pate here. I want to talk about setting up your Capto unit and some stuff I do as I'm setting up mine with students. So as we look at the player profile, just kind of put in their name, male, female, all the stats you want to keep track of. The little button that says medium, amateur, and pro, that's going to set the tolerances on the tiles. The pro is going to be the smaller tolerances and the amateur is going to be the bigger tolerances. I usually just leave that around the medium section, or if you want, you could put on the pro if you're a better putter. You fill out their club name, their emails, all that good stuff. Then the next one is, as you're setting up the putter in the putter data, go ahead and enter in what you want to call the player's putter. I usually put their initials or something and then call the head of what it is in case they have multiple heads. The next one is the lie. If you know what the lie is, go ahead and enter that in. The other option you can do is just kind of put 70 degrees as a baseline, and we can do a couple things to figure out if that's going to be correct or not. And then the loft, I usually just put about 3 degrees. That's usually about the middle. 2 is going to be the low end, 4 is going to be the high end. But that's just something to put in unless you have a loft and lie machine where you can actually get the true lie and the true loft, which will help the data a little bit better. Then for the length, what I have is a little tape measure. I just pull it out and I'll put the putter soled flatly on the ground and go from the middle of the putter blade, touching the ground, to the top of the grip, or just below the grip where you can see there's a little ridge, and see how many inches that is on the ruler. So I'm going to put that in here as my putter's 36 inches. The next one's going to be the offset. So the offset's going to be from the middle of the shaft. If this kept going down in space, where would that be? I have a string on the ground here, which I can always use to try to figure out where that's going to be. And then I have a tape measure. And because my tape measure is in inches, I'm going to have to convert that over to millimeters. But I'm just trying to figure out if the shaft was extended, where would that extend to? And this is about 1/4 of an inch. So if I go into the Safari and go to inches to millimeters and type in 0.25 or 0.2, somewhere in there, it's going to give me roughly 5 millimeters. This is going to affect the low point tile. If that's 0, it might shift that around a little bit. So just kind of get close to that. The better you can get, the better it's going to be. The next one's going to be the sensor distance. As I take it out of my container, I always keep it in the container just so it doesn't get bumped around. And then I use the calibration tool to set it up. If you don't have the calibration tool, you want to find a flat surface where you can put the unit on a flat surface and then find something almost like a T-square. The goal here is, can we get the flat edge or the bottom of the Capto unit to a 90 degrees to the face? So I'm going to go ahead and strap this on here. And on my unit, I have a little mark at 45 centimeters here where I always put the unit every time that I put it on there. So it's always in the same spot, just so that it can be consistent. So I'll put the unit, the bottom edge of the unit's at 45 inches, square up the face, and then tighten it down. It doesn't have to be super tight, just tight enough so this thing's not going to slide around, because we're only hitting putts with this. And I try to tighten both sides at the same time. So once that's set up, I try to put this on kind of a flat surface here. The next one we could do is, now we got to turn the unit on and get it connected with the iPad or the computer that you're going to be using. So I'm going to go into settings, go into Wi-Fi, and select my Capto unit and wait for the check mark to show up here. Takes a little second here. So now it's connected to the iPad. Now as I go back to my system, I'm going to save the putter, push save, just in case I lose that data. Now it's already saved in there. I'm going to push the button that says not connected, and then I'm going to go ahead and push connect. And if you're not logged in, go ahead and log in to the system with your password and email accounts. Now it's going to go through trying to connect. And then once it's connected, it's going to give me a little notification or some beeps. I can go back to the profile picture. And then now I can go ahead and click calibrate. And this is going to start running a little process here. It's going to give me about 5 beeps. I'm just making sure the putter is staying still here. After I get that final beep, now it's going to ask us to hold the putter vertically. So some putters, they all hang differently. If we hold them by the end of the grip, their direction, the goal here is, can we get the shaft more hanging at a 90-degree angle? And then we just gotta hold that steady so we get the beeps, and the final beep, it's gonna say calibrated. And then I'm gonna have a green check mark for calibration down below. I'm just gonna put putter saved, make sure we're all good to go. Now the shaft lean calibration, that's for a putter, if you've seen like a directed force putter, where maybe the shaft is going at a different angle and the grip is still straight on the leading edge. It's actually going into the grip at an angle. If you click on the information or the eye next to shaft lean, it's going to show you a picture of what those kind of press grips look like. So I'm right there, putter set up, player set up, we're good to go. So now I can go ahead and push play. And that's going to take me into the tile view. So now we can go ahead and roll a putt, and we're good to go. The other thing we can do here is, if I click on green, that's going to give me some live numbers here. If I set the putter, how it would be in its playing position with the lie, number 1, to the middle of the face is set parallel to the ground. And then I can set a little bit of shaft lean so it's neutral. And what that's going to do is that's going to give us some live numbers of what's going on with the shaft. So if I put in 70 degrees, and I was actually holding it at this vertical angle right here, the lie is going to say it's plus 14 degrees. If I put it too low, now it's going to say it's minus 5. If I find that playing position right there, my lie is saying about 2 degrees upright. So what I could do is I can go back into the system. I can click on the top little tab on the left. That's going to give me the option to go home, profile. I want to go to profile and go back to putter. And I'm going to change the lie angle to 72, push save, and then go back to play and check the green. So again, if I get that putter set up correctly, where to me the leading edge or the top of the putter, it's all set flush to the ground. Now it's going to go ahead and read 0. And now I know my lie is pretty good for the system if I don't have a lofted lie machine. The lie is going to affect some of the putter arc stuff, some of the data tiles, so go ahead and try and get that as close as you can. Loft, that's going to affect some of the launch tiles and characteristics and how far the ball is going to roll. So once you have this thing on pretty good, you're good to go, and the data is going to be pretty accurate. So there's a quick little way of running full setup. Now as you do this more and more, this becomes quicker and quicker to set it up and get a player to start rolling the first putts.